Pothuraju, good morning.
Good morning, Raleigh.
Yeah, please share your screen and open the activity guide. Go through the today's topics and explore each and every topic and
Yeah.
walk me through. Over to you, Pothuraju.
Thank you, Raleigh. Now, in this presentation, I have explained the practice for creating general groups and open periods and creating generals from templates and submitting approval for posting generals and how to creating and running the general reports. And after the completion of managing generals, moving for running consolidation. In this consolidation, I show you entering the exchange rates in a single period and multi-period and entering the ownership percentage and recomputing. In this, I show you how to assign the ownership and assign the entities and recomputing the ownership data based on the periodic way and running console. In this running, how to run the business rules for a consolidation and a translation. And after completion of running consolidation, move for a next scheduling, creating the schedule and editing data and snapshot. In this first, I have creating and scheduling the importing data and selecting the task for editing. Next, I have moved to the exporting. I show you how to exporting and relating the data and exporting the artifacts and data to the snapshot. After completion of exporting an artifacts and data snapshot, importing the data from the snapshot for test environment to the product environment. First, you have to remove the application. After you have logged into the application, you have option called the migrate and then importing the snapshot. And coming to go to the activity guide, you have follow the step by step. In this presentation, I have explained the what is the new in FC, what is explain the FCCS application for a managing generals. So you have any adjustments for during the consolidation, that time you provide if you are creating the general adjustment for data adjustment for like credit and debit payment queues and adjustment the value. Now I show you how to creating the general groups in a general tab in under the application FCCS application. I show you. This is the activity guide for a practicing for a FCCS application. Have starting from many generals for a first learning the this chapter for a first you have creating the general groups and opening the page. Now I show you how to creating the general groups and open the page. Again go to the application. Click on the home icon. Under the generals tab there. This is the general card or general cluster. There are two windows is available. One is the general menu, second one is the general template. Now move to the general menu under the actions. You have option called groups. I have earlier already created for two groups. One is a blue sheet and second one is yellow sheet as per our activity guide. First you have login to the application and action under the groups. We have a one group name is a blue sheet for generals and the second group is yellow sheet for a general. And now show you. I have already created for a blue sheet and yellow sheet for a general groups. After click on close. Again go to activity guide. Next task for creating the how to open the managing fields in application cluster and click on the home icon. Click on the managing fields and under the application cluster verify the scenario actual and year to FY20. Again go to application. Click on the home icon. Expand the application cluster. This is application cluster. Move to the managing periods. In this manage, we have providing as per our activity guide. Scenario is actual, and year is FY20. Click on OK. After a go icon is there. So what are the periods are available under the based on the scenario and year. So all the if you want to open the period, click on the actions and click on open. The status will be changed to open. Have already done open the status this way. You can go to the activity guide. This is a conclusion for managing the groups and creating managing the periods in the general of this application. Move to the next topic for creating a general from the template. In this practice, I will show you how to creating the general template from generals. First, you have logged into the application from the go to the general tab under the application cluster under the home page or navigator. Click on the template tab. There are two tabs. One is the general menu. Second one is the general template. Go to the general template and click on the create. Create a new template. Create name for a label, name for a general for expensive. Now I'll show you how to create the general template. Again, go to the application. Click on the home icon. Click on the general. There are two windows. One is the general menus. So general menus is based on the mistake based on the general template used to creating the general adjustments. So now I should explain how to creating the general templates. Click on the create option. So provide the general name for as per our activity guide. General for expensive. This is a general name, general template name, and a description description for a general template for a revenue and expense account. General template for revenue and expense account. And a general type is a regular. So data source memory is a general input. It is a track. The main purpose of data source dimension is tracking. So now have adjustment the data for general. So I can select the general input member for a dimension member, data source dimension. General type is a standard as per our activity guide. After after general entry, click on the save. So general name is template name is created successfully under general type and the template type. After click on the create, so one row is available. In this you can enter the dimension members for a based on the general template adjustments. In this if you want memories you have, so directly you can enter the member or else you can pick another action, click on the pick members, select the pick members. So or else as now I show you as per our activity, selecting the entity member for EN01 underscore 05. Select the EN0 underscore for entry dimension. Account is 7,000 for a member of account dimension account. And intercompany is no go intercompany. And movement dimension is no movement. And multi gap is a local gap. Expand the FCCS underscore IFSS. Select the local gap. Product is a no product. After that, providing the dimensions members, click on OK. So members is successfully add under the dimension members under the dimensions. You can go to activity guide. Have provide the N0 underscore 05 is entry member. Account is the 7,000. Intercompany is a no intercompany. Movement is a no movement. Multi gap is a no local gap. And product is no product. Click on the create and create another row in the general. Click on the create. One more row is added. In this time I can change the number for 7012. You can go to activate. In a row, changing the account dimension number for 702, I change. Click on the say and click on the close. Like a general template like this. First one is the label name and type and the general type, data dose dimension, currency and description. Click on save. So general template is created successfully. After that, click on close. So in this, you can see the generals for a expensive have created. This is the type of the generals and this is the general type, general data source, general input and entity currency. Again, go to activate. This is the conclusion for a creating the general template based on the general card. Move to the next topic for a practice for a creating a general from the template. In this practice, you will be creating the general based on the general template creating the earlier. In this example, in this practice, I show you how to create the general groups for a based on the general template. First, you have logged into EPM Cloud application. After that, click on the managing the generals and make the following point of view for a scenario is the actual and here is FY20. Period is Jan and the general manage and click on the create from the template and click on the create. Select the general for expensive. Earlier I have created for a general template name. Click on the apply. Enter the following information for group yellow sheet, providing the row values for a debit and credit values. After that, click on the save and click close. Now I'll show you creating the generals based on the general template. Again, go to the application, go to the general, manage the general, click on the create from template. Now here I have created the general for expensive. Click on apply. General template is open in under the general menu. Based on the earlier I have created the template based, I have now I created the general. In this as per our activity, selecting the group or a yellow sheet group 1. After that, credit amount is 2707 and the debit amount is 2707. After that, click on the save. The variance should be 0. So general adjustment is successfully added under the application based on the general template. Click on save and close. You can see the general for expensive based on the scenario actual and here is a period is February and we use a periodic way. Entity input, this is the entity input. After that, again go to the aggregate. This is the conclusion for creating the general for a template. Move for a next practice for a creating the running the general reports. In this practice, I will be show you creating the general, creating and running the general reports under the reports tab. First, you have log into the application and create. Click on the reports on the home page or under the navigator. You have a report card. Click on the general reports tab and click on the create. In this, select the current point of view and select the yellow sheet under the group and then click on the run report. After that, you can create, we can view the review your data. Now, I show you to create and running the general reports under the report tab. You can go to the application, click on the home. We have a reporting tab. This is the reporting tab. Under the general report, selecting click on the create. Selecting the scenario actual and here is FY20 and period is period is February and consolidation is entity input. By default, system can be provide these parameters. If you want, you can changing the scenario is actual to budget or forecast. Otherwise, also you can change here. It's now here I have posting the general in the based on the scenario the actual and here is FY20 and period is February. Now I can select that members based on the general report generating. After that, in the row filter option, you have you know about the labels. If you which general you can run the report directly, we can enter the label name and groups. Now earlier I have assigned the group that the main use of groups are easy to run the reports. There is a no selecting for a label or status or general type or data source. Only you can select the group that easy to run the reports for a general reports. After that, click selecting the group based on the activity guide. Click on the run report. In this report, you can select the PDF or HTML or XLS by default by Depending on your requirement, you can select that. Now I can select the PDF. So click on the run report. The file can be saved on our local machine. Click on open. So you can see the general report based on the which dimension members you can choosing and adjustment the data. So after that, click go to the activity guide. This is a conclusion for creating the general and the reports. Move to the after completion of management, moving for a running consolidation. In this practice, I will show you how to entering the exchange rates in a single period and multi-period. Depending on the by default system can be provide the PDF files forms for a exchange rate for a single period and exchange rate for a multi-period. After that, entering the exchange rate, moving for entering the ownership percentage and recomputing the ownership. In this, I show you how to entering the ownership data for a entity members and how to run the recomputing of ownership for a based on the selecting the members, entity members, and entering the data for running consolidation and view the result. In this, I show you how to run the consolidation rules for a consolidation and how to view the result of the consolidation data. Now move to the practice for entering the exchange rates. In this practice, you will be learning add the accounting and entity dimension members. Assumption first you have created a currency in practice for a 4-3. I have already done for a practice for 4 adding the currencies in currency dimension under currency dimension. First you have perform the entering the exchange. First you have log into the EPM application and then click on the home page and click on the data card and then entering the exchange rate for a single period or multi-period depending on your requirement. We can only enter the single period. That time you can select the single period or you can select the multi-period depending on your business requirement. You can select. You have only run the consolidation on a single period, so that time you can select the single period. Now as per our activity, I can select the single file period for entering the exchange rates. After that, selecting the period is Jan and it is FY20, scenario is actual. After that, you can enter the manually data or you have a data file for exchange rate, directly import to application. So the import data is used in the data forms. After that, you can check the importing data is correctly or not, depending on your currency rates, standards. After that, click on the save and close. Now show you how to entering the exchange rate in a single period and multi-period. Again, go to application, click on the home. Under the data card, this is a single period. I have selecting the period is a February and year is FY20. Scenario is actual. By default, this is the system can be provided for a single period. You can enter the February month for 1 to 1 average and ending rate for a ARC and added BRL, CRT. Depending on your currency translations, you can enter the data for exchange rates for average and ending rates. This is where you can enter directly the rates for a 1 to depending on your currency rate standard for a cross rate or indirect or direct rates. You can enter the values. After that, entering the data, click on the save. The entering the data, entering currency rates are successfully saved. You can go to activity guide. This is a conclusion for entering the exchange rate in a single period. And move to the next for entering the ownership percentage and recomputing the ownership. In this practice, you will be learn to add the ownership data based on the selecting the entity dimension numbers. First, you have assumption creating the currency in the practice for a 4-1, adding the currencies in your application. After that, you have perform the task for first you have log in the application, click on the overview card in the application cluster home page, and then go to the dimension tab, click on entity, and move to the expand the CE, and school the right down, then set the LE01, LE02, and LE03 intercompany entities to ICP underscore entity yes. Click on save, then click cancel, click on the close. Now show you how to assign the ownership data and how to run recomputing the ownership data. After that, click on the consolidation tab. Now show you how to click on home icon. Is going on for saving the entering the single period data. The data is saved successfully. You can go to activity guide for a selecting entering the ownership data. Again go to application. Now I show you how to select. Click on the navigator under the over record. Click on, go to the dimensions. Select the entity dimension number for a consolidation. For a consolidation entity, I have created a consolidation entity hierarchy under the FCC entity. You can select the you can set the ICP underscore yes. Directly the values is under the saved under the dimension number, or else you can go to the dimension tab. You can go to the dimensions under the navigator under the create and manage. You can go to the entity dimension. Select the which entity or which console entity, or select that one. Click on the edit. Go to the attribute value. You can assign the intercompany value. So ICP underscore yes. So automatically one memory is created under the intercompany dimension for it contains a intercompany data. That's why after that click on save. First go to the activity guide. After selecting the assigning the ICP, after refreshing the database, after the closing the opening windows and click on the consolidation tab. So I have refreshing the database. You had two ways to refresh the database. If you go to under the dimension tab, you can click on the refresh data. Can refresh, or else you can go to the our you card under the actions under the refresh database. You can select the all users are only admin. You can select depending on your requirements. You can refresh the database. Refresh database is run the you can change the member properties, or you can add the members under the dimensions. At that time you can enter the enable the you can run the refresh the database. It is going, it takes at least 5 to 10 minutes. Now on this time in the meantime I can go to the activity guide. After refreshing the database, after closing all the opening windows, click on the consolidation tab. After that, make the point of view set to entity. Total geography scenario actual is a period and actual, and here is FY20 period is Jan. Now entering the following ownership managing ownership page under the consolidation tab. Again go to application. It's going on. You can see also refreshing the database in the jobs card. You can see the process of a refreshing database. You can go to activity and refreshing the data after sending the ownership data. After click on the save, click on the actions and click on the recompute of ownership. After click recomputing, selecting a scenario and year and starting period. After that, click on the consolidation process tab. Click on the consolidation block, and then click on the configure consolidation and select all the rule set checkbox present, and then click on the deploy. Deploy rules icons will be comes with green icon. So deploy is successfully for a consolidation rules. After that, click on close. I show you how to ownership assign and how to run the consolidation process under the consolidation block. Again, go to application. So refresh database is going. refreshing the database is affected entire the application for a database. So that time it takes more time. So refreshing is data is successfully. Click on the finish. After click on the home icon, you can go to the another application cluster or another navigator. You can click on the consolidation tab. Click on the selecting the FI20 and selecting the entity members for a total geography. And scenario is actual and year is FI20 and period is February as per our activity guide. Click on OK. After click on go icon. So in this you can see the which entity you can assigning the ownership or percentage allocation. So now I have selecting the EN0 underscore members. I have already assigned the EN0 percentage for a 100% for a holding company and 80 and 60% of a subsidiary for a company for a EN0 underscore one. After that, assigning the ownership data, click on the save changes. Save ownership data changes. The metadata has changed successfully. Please recomplete the ownership. After click on the actions, under the recompleting the ownership data option is there, providing the scenario and year and starting period. After that, click on the recomplete. Recomplete ownership data is started. Recomplete is successfully, and then click on the consolidation process. Go to the consolidation block. Click on the configuration consolidation. Click on the configure consolidation for a running the rule sets. Select the uncheck and first undeploy. So I have already deploy the earlier practice purpose. Now I will check the all the rule set. Click on the deploy. The rule sets are comes with the green color. So rules all rules are successfully deployed for a managing consolidation rules. Complete the deploy rules. So it's like comes green tick mark. After click on close. Click on the home icon. Again go to activity guide. This is a conclusion for a practice for a meaning running a consolidation for a assigning the ownership percentage and running the rule set in consolidation tab. Move to the next part for a running consolidation. In this practice, I will show you how to execute the consolidation rules and how to after consolidation rule you can see the result of the data in data forms. First, you have log into the application. Click on the data card on home page. Explore the consolidation form. Select the data forms. They have created for practicing for a managing period. Managing forms. I have created two forms. One is the data entry form and second one is the consolidation data form. And click on the data source dimension from and select the data input member. Selecting the data source dimension member for data input. I can enter the data in through forms for a manually. So that's why I can select the data input member. If you enter the edges into data or you can enter the data in through supplementary data or general data, that time you can select that member for a supplementary data or general input member when data source dimension. After selecting the data input member, then click on OK. Now click on the go icon. So enter the following data in the form for a period for a John. After that, click on the save. Now period is changed for Jan to February and click on go icon. Enter the following data in sales. After click on save. And now click on the actions drop down business will run the business rules for a consolidation for. Now I have selected the business rules for a consolidation for a practicing for a managing forms time. So consolidation is only available. After that, click on the launch, providing the entity for a total geography actually is a FI20 and period is Jan. After that, click on the launch. If you got error, you can go to the consolidation block and you can recomputing the ownership data, changing the period for February. decomputing the ownership, and after the run the rule set, and then repeat the steps. Consolidation run. Click on the launch. You can go to the job section. You can see the status of consolidation form. Now open the consolidation data form, and data source form is the data card. Under the area, I have creating the managing forms for a form for a consolidation data entry. Enter the following case for a point of view on the form. Period is Jan. Data source dimension is the total data source. Then click on go icon. We can see the consolidation data like this way. You can analyze the which percentage or amount is comes each entity members. I show you how to enter the single period and multi period. Next we have go to the application, click on the data card. I have created earlier for a data frame. Under the two forms, one is the consolidation data and the second one is the data entry. Now I am selecting the data entry form. I have entered the data for a after selecting the data input member. I have selected data input member and then click on OK. Now click on go icon. After that, selecting the data input, click on the go icon. So go icon is available under the top of the taskbar. After that, click on go. You can enter the data in the forms for a common stack and which members have you selected earlier creating the form. Then I have selected account receivable, inventories and cash. Now I have entered the data for a 30,000. Four thousand member is 30,000. 3,000 for a and EN0 members entity for a 10,000 and changes in cash is 10,000. After that, click on save. The data is saved in data entry form. Again, go to active period. After entering the data, click on save and the period change it to Jan to February. Now changing the period for Jan to February to March. Click on go icon. After that, providing the data for a 50,000, 10,000, 5,000 for a as per our activity guide. After that, click on save. After that, click on the actions under the select the business rules. I'll show you how to run the data is saved. Click on the actions under the business rules. From the business rules, select the consolidation. Select the FI20 and John and total geography. And after that, click on the launch. So warning. So again, if you got a warning, you can go to the application under the consolidation. Click on the now again run the recomputing of a ownership data. Click on the consolidation. Changing the field for March. Okay. Click on the selecting the entity for a total geography. Click on OK. After that, click on go icon. Under the actions, click on the recomputing ownership data. Selecting the recompute. So recomputing ownership data is started successfully. Again, go to the consolidation block. Under the consolidation and go to the configuration bull consolidation. First, I have selected a period for a February. Now I changing the period for March. So again, I can deploy the consolidation rules. You can deploy. The rules is successfully deployed for a consolidation rules. Again, go to click on close. Again, go to applicate activity guide. After running the business rules, click on the repeats. After you can repeat the steps I have follow. After that, I can again run the business rules for a consolidation for a period of month. Again, go to the data card. This time, you can changing the running the consolidation for business rules for a March. Click on the consolidate. Changing the period for a March. Click on OK. After that, click on the launch. So business rule is successfully. You can see the another jobs card. You can see the status. So consolidation is a process. After that, click on the home icon. Again, go to the application, activate. After run the you can open the consolidation data form or data form in the data card. Enter the period for a John and data source member for a total data source member. Then you can go. I think you can see the consolidation data. You can go to application. Click on the data card. You can close the data entry form. Now I can select the consolidation data form. I'm changing the period for John. Click on OK and data source member for a total data source. Click on OK. After that, click on go icon. You can see the consolidation data for a based on the running the business rule. You can see the data for a consolidation after running the ownership percentage and recomputing the data. You can see. Again, go to activity guide. You can see the data. This is a conclusion for a practicing for a running consolidation in consolidation and running the business rules. Again, go to the next chapter for a lesson for a managing jobs and migration. Again, in this practice, I will show you how to create the schedules and the data import file and learn. In this also learn how to enable the task for arting and how to exporting the deleting arting data and exporting the artifacts and the data as a snapshot and importing the back in later. First, you have creating the schedules and data forms in the jobs guide. In this practice, I will show you creating the job, creating and scheduling the data jobs in importing job. First, you have logged into the application, select the overview and under the application cluster, click on the actions, drop down, select the inbox or outbox. After that, click on the upload, browse import data upload, click on go icon and click on the actions and importing the data. Now show you how to importing and how to see the schedules in jobs guide. Again, go to application, click on the navigator under the overview card is there. Under the overview card, click on the actions under the option called inbox or outbox explore. Click on the upload. So choose the file, which file you have imported. I have selected the translation rates. Click on open. So click on override file, upload file. So file has uploaded successfully. After that, click on close. This way you can load the file in a server. You can go to activity guide. After importing the file, click on the actions under the import data. Selecting the inbox. I show you how to importing the data and how to set it. Again, go to the application. Click on the action. Click on import data. Click on the create. Selecting the inbox for a location. Here I have uploaded the file in a server, so I choose the location for inbox. Providing the source file for a translation currency rates underscore CSV. After that, click on the save job. You can see save job for a name for a jobs, for import, file for a import data. After that, click on the save. So job file is created successfully. Click on close. You can see the job file which gems for import file is created. After that, click on close. After you can go to the jobs part. Click on the schedule jobs. Click on the import data. Click on the name of the job is run. Have entered for a testing for metadata. Selecting a reference pattern for a weekly and days of monthly as per our activity guide. Selecting. After that, setting starting from again changing the time for a 19. After that, click on the next. You can go to the job details. In this job details, you can select which profile you have scheduled. Select the jobs for import if you have created. After that, click on the next. You can review the test name of the job and job type and job name. Scheduling runtime and repeats occur weekly or every Monday. This is created for a schedule for and creating and scheduling the jobs. After that, click on the finish. You can see the under the pending the jobs and we can see the scheduling the jobs for a have created for a existing for a metadata. So jobs for a importing data. This way you can creating the and scheduling the jobs. Again go to the activity guide. Click on the close after dialog work. I show you each and every for creating the schedule and assigning the schedule. Move to the next practice for the jobs. I show you. Click on the schedule. I show you. After that, selecting the recurrence pattern for a daily or weekly of Monday. I show you. Then click on the next and selecting the jobs for a really have creating the file. Select. I show you. After that, reviewing the details. I show you. Click on the finish. In under the job section, you can see. I show you for what is the job you have created. This is a conclusion for a practice for a creating and scheduling the jobs. I move to the next practice for a selecting task for adding. In this practice, I will show you how to select the adding purpose. First, you have log into the EPM cloud and necessary. Click on the audit card in the tools cluster and then click on the configure and decide the sum of the fields for another configuration. Click on the apply and I'll show you. Again, go to the application. Click on the home icon. Click on the tools. Under the where audit, click on the configurable. Select the sum of the fields for a once I check it. Data from approvals and clear cells. I show you. Click on after that. Click on apply. This is a conclusion for a practicing for a selecting task for auditing. After that, exporting the and deleting the audit data. I show you. After click on the audit tools cluster, click on the filter icon, audit page. Enter the following details. Groups. Providing the sum of the fields for today data are apply. After you can see the audit data. I show you how to exporting and how to do the audit data. Again, go to the application. Click on the filter icon. Providing the task by for all and actions for all. Starting date for I can changing the 1 month before and selecting. Click on apply. You can see the audit information for a period for a starting date and ending date. These are audit data for. After that, click on the actions. Click on the export. We can export the audit information in our local machine. This is the exporting of audit information. Likewise, these actions you can delete the audit data like this way. You can set providing the start date and end date. After that, click on the delete. the number of related. Okay. After that, again go to activity guide. This is a conclusion for a practice for a creating and deleting and exporting audit data. Now moving for exporting artifacts and data snapshot. I show you how to exporting the snapshot under the migrations. Again go to application. Click on the navigate under the tools. They have option called migration. Selecting which field or which member. Selecting only export. Click on OK. This is the name of the export file name. Click on OK. You can see the migration status of the report. Click on refresh. After that, migration process is successfully. This way, you can exporting the migration for a data. I show you. This is the conclusion for exporting artifacts and data to the snapshot. And moving for a once export is completed, export chapter is available under the snapshot. I show you. This is a I have exporting the snapshot for a APM underscore default. This is the exporting a snapshot for a migration earlier. Again, go to activity guide. After that, click on the action. Click on the download. You can save the another actions. Option called a download. The file can be saved our local machine. This is the download file. Again, go to the activity guide. This is a conclusion for a copying, managing the apps and migrating the auditing data for a creating the snapshot for migration. I move to the next practice for importing data from the snapshot. In this practice, I will show you how to snapshot or created previously activity. First, you have log into the EPM client, select the WAV record, click on the application. First, you have remove the application, click on the yes. After that, providing the login credentials. Now click on the migrate. Under the migration option, you can go to the snapshot whatever I exported earlier. Click on the import. Once you click on the import, the snapshot will be processed by takes at least 10 to 15 minutes. Once the import is finished, sign out and sign in again. This is a conclusion. I show you how to remove the application. Click on the navigator under the overview. Click on the action option called a remove. Remove application. It is asking for a yes or no. You can do not know. So after that, log into the application. You have a snapshot like doing the financial consolidation course for a create a new application or migration. If you have a test for any number, come to the migration. You can migrate after. I show you migration. You can click on the upload for a application, selecting the which field and which you have selecting the exporting calculation manager. Selecting, click on import. The import process is in the migration status report. You can see the successful or error. After it is going, it takes at least 10 to 15 minutes. After that, the status is go to the complete status is changed to complete. After click on close, click on cancel. Again, go to the activity. This is a conclusion for a creating a migration for a application, import to the application for a production environment. Thank you, Raleigh. Hello.
Thank you, Pothuraju.
Yes, Raleigh. It is okay, Raleigh.